And as I'm sure you know, Duchenne UK is leading the field not just in driving forward new treatments, but also in technological advancements to improve the lives of people with Duchenne. So to bring us up to date with the latest, we've got Hayley Philippaut, who's the head of technology at Duchenne UK, and David Buckley, who's the technology project manager at Duchenne UK. That was our intro, yes. Is that working okay? Thank you. So, thank you, Claire, for the intro. So I'll let David introduce himself, as you're the top person
right.
here.
I'm hoping this works. I'm David, and I'm the technology project manager here at Duchenne UK.
And I'm Hayley Philippaut, and head of technology, as Claire mentioned. And David and I lead the team here at Duchenne UK, working on the design and engineering of the Duchenne UK Technology projects. And just to kind of tell a little bit about us, so our backgrounds are in mechanical engineering design for David and product engineering design for myself. And we want to use the time with you today to talk mostly about our project LFX, and to kind of update you, give you a little bit more detail and tell you about its progress, and talk to you about what it's like being on the design team. So let's move.
So it's going to be a little bit of a sort of fireside chat between us. We're going to talk about LFX, and LFX is our sort of arm lifting device or exoskeleton for the upper body, which is going to be attached to a wheelchair, at least initially, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through.
And the way it works is it kind of takes the weight of someone's arm, so it's sort of counterbalancing the weight of your arm, and it supports your joints through kind of the range of natural arm movement. And what we find is actually by unweighting the arm, you actually need less muscle strength to be able to kind of do some of those activities that people say that they want us to do. So needless to say, we spend lots of time speaking to people in the community, and it won't be any surprise to yourselves to learn that things like eating and drinking obviously come up as really kind of high priorities that people would like assistance with to be able to continue doing those sorts of things. But that's not to say there aren't kind of other things too, aren't there, like Benjamin likes to do.
So this is Benjamin here, so some people might know him, and he is a bit of a musician himself, and he particularly enjoys the drums. So when we've gone around to actually do some testing with him, it's not about just doing the sort of the basics, it's also about seeing whether he can actually get the drumsticks out and work with that too. So yeah, other activities really do matter because they've got more of an emotional pull to them.
Absolutely. I think, and it also shows why having user involvement is so critical to actually kind of getting the design right. And actually we now do have on our design team 2 people with lived experience, and Benjamin is one of them. And they don't get just involved in sort of like consultatory kind of forms, but they actually come to design meetings, you have them sitting around the table, we talk kind of graphs and maths and things and that with them, but mostly they kind of give that direction of this is how it should perform and this is how it should work for us for the things that we want it to do. So Benjamin was supposed to be here today, so for those of you who've noticed that we've slight change on the agenda, but something has come up for him. So he did a little video for us that we're going to show now, and we asked him 3 questions.
Yeah, so we've got 3 questions which you'll see sort of flash up as we go through, but the first one is really kind of how he feels that his lived experience helped the sort of development process, what it was like being part of the development team, and also his kind of hopes for LFX for himself and for the rest of the Duchenne community. So this should start.
Hoping this is going to start. Yeah.
You can feel weightlessness and as if you're swimming or like using hydrotherapy as something that could like maximise the ability of muscle strength and could adapt over time.
So we'll talk to you a little bit about the development journey of how we got to this stage, but suffice to say, it's been quite a journey to get to the stage now that we're at now, where we have a prototype that we have lots of confidence in and works in the way that we want it to work.
So we started with quite a sort of different design. It was more of a sort of technology kind of front-loaded approach, where we had this technology which is fantastic, and we were looking to get it to work in this kind of for this community. You can see it on the far left-hand side there. It's over the shoulder, it's motorized, but after a lot of testing, we just found that it wasn't quite the sort of natural movement that we were hoping for. And we say sort of biomechanically, it was just unsympathetic. It wasn't really working, as I say, in the way that we were really kind of needed it to work for this community.
I think we learnt loads from doing this and from the testing that we did. And I think it's always a really difficult point in a design to sort of actually say, okay, we're going to pivot to something else. But I think it also shows where the value, the real true value also of having people with lived experience on your design team, because when you do need to make those kind of decisions, difficult decisions, to pivot to something new, you can do that with the confidence that you're doing this for the right reasons, and what you've learned isn't lost, it's kind of coming with you, but you're going to move forward together, and this is the right thing to do. And ultimately, has led to this design now, to more the underarm design.
Yeah, and we've got a much more user-centered approach now, and as we heard with Benjamin, and we've got a young lady from the SMA community involved as well, and they really are involved at the sort of the very start of the whole process. So it's not just about having people from the community involved in testing, but as we were sort of presenting the first ideas, Benjamin was saying, well, actually, I need it to be not as a wearable, but I need it to be attached to the chair. So it was massively valuable insight to go, okay, well, we haven't even made it yet, but we can involve that. But basically, for him, it was about being able to be hoisted. So again, you don't have to get to the testing phase to then involve the end users. You can involve them all the way through, and it's massively advantageous to do so.
And you convinced me. I love the wearable approach, and I still really think, as a designer, that it's got lots of use cases, and we want to continue exploring those and developing those. But it was that kind of classic design meeting, sat around the table, Benjamin and Hermione saying, "Yeah, it looks really nice, but it's so much more convenient attached to my chair," which is great, right? So we'll follow that. We'll do that, and we'll keep exploring it. But so the new design is completely passive. So this one made a bit of noise, which wasn't appreciated. And this one doesn't, because it's all springs and linkages, which makes it seem like it's simpler, but actually it's got its own challenges, right?
Yeah, so this one, although it sort of feels like a simpler approach, the physics behind it is actually fairly complex, and we are still working on that. And we've created a sort of digital twin in the background to be able to try and model this. We've got some sort of very clever engineers, one of them particularly involved with the team, who has been running sort of many iterations on changing subtle variations to actually get the kind of range of movement that we're really looking for.
It's kind of only through the testing that you get to validate those models, because you can do as much sort of calculations as you like, but it's not until you actually test something that you can really see, where things are working and where things are maybe wrong. So we have got video now of first test session. Joke's going to play.
So here you can see Benjamin, and those who don't know him, if you look at his left arm from the far side, it's not moving. He can't move his arms. If he wants to kind of move them around on the table, he has to kind of creep using his hands to pull his arms across. But with Elebex, we've got a lot of really good sort of lateral movement, and we've got some vertical movement, including lifting up a can. We need to go a bit further. We need to create a greater range of vertical movement. But even here, you can see that we've made real progress.
It was really exciting to see, just because it means that this concept works, so the concept that we've all worked on together as a team, including Benjamin and Hermione, is working. And like I said, when you test something, it's immediately then where you see the areas for improvement, which we're already working on, right?
Yeah, so again, going back to the kind of digital twin aspect, and then further modelling that we're doing, and then getting kind of quick 3D printed prototypes out. We are trying to increase that range of movement, because that really is where the key value of this product lies.
And we've had quite a few people come and speak to us, obviously, over the last couple of days. And a question I think that comes up quite frequently is like, okay, well, how is Benjamin controlling it? How is he actually kind of moving it around?
Well, as we're saying, it's a passive device, so there really isn't any control. This is all being sort of activated in inverted commas by Benjamin. He's using his muscles. He gave us the kind of the insight that he wanted to have it feel like he was in water, sort of in hydrotherapy. And so we are counterbalancing his arm weight and giving him freedom to move vertically and laterally.
And then I think one of the things maybe you can see in this is there are two LFX here. So this is kind of one of our design principles, that it should be evolvable with someone through their journey through Duchenne. So the theory would be that you could use just maybe the upper section. So if you wanted to start with just something that would help you moving the upper arm, if you've maybe still got good elbow movement, but then you could link on the lower arm, and then even having something like a wrist support. And the example of gait community involvement is, that was an insight that was given to us, that you're going to need a wrist support. You're going to need that because otherwise you can support the arm, but if somebody doesn't have that wrist strength, then they're not even going to be able to lift the can. So that was a great insight. When we built on a wrist support, it turned out to be absolutely invaluable. And I think even in this test, Benjamin wouldn't have been able to hold the cup and lift it, or the can of Coke and lift it out without that. So that's kind of, all these essential insights that we listen to and we try and build into this.
So it's worth pointing out here, this is reasonably early stage mechanical prototype, but in parallel to this, we're starting work on the look and feel. Hayley's got a little bit of news for that.
Yes, we want to move on. So looking ahead to this year, we've got some really exciting news that we can share with you now. We are going to be working with, I can't quite believe it myself, but anyway, world-leading design agency Pentagram on the look and feel of LFX. And the thing that's really exciting about this is that they have offered to work with us for free. So they are going to work with us and lean into this project over the next few months. And they've already been speaking to people in the community about how they feel about it and how they want it to look. They're actually going to work with us to sort of put that together. And you can see some examples here on the slide of just some of the many, many things that Pentagram have designed over the years. So I think we're all kind of really excited of the potential of seeing LFX looking with that kind of consumer-led, product that you might kind of find in John Lewis. Just, the sort of thing that we feel this market and this community deserves.
So alongside that, kind of back to us in a way, we're going to be finalising the mechanical architecture. We've got sizing strategy to work out. We've got wheelchair attachments to work out. We've still got a lot to do on the purely mechanical side, as well as, of course, trying to polish the lift mechanism.
I think it's safe to say, and we can say that we're kind of taking a slightly different approach. So our approach very much now is that David and I are getting kind of hands-on, and we're going to very much leading on this. And engaging in the kind of design and engineering ourselves. And our approach is very much one of kind of an iterative development approach. So we test with users, we see areas for improvement, we go away, we kind of make those improvements, we go back, we test, we make changes, we test, we go back. And then, by that way, we feel that you can really kind of iteratively move forward together. And one of the things that we want to do this year is to be able to make prototypes that people can actually take home and test, because we recognise that testing in the real world is very different to having us looking over your shoulder, asking you to do different tasks and activities. So that's going to be one of the intentions for testing this year, is to do a bit more real world stuff.
So this is still very much based in prototypes, but at some point we have to then look towards manufacturing. So that is a whole new section of work, getting it ready for manufacture in terms of materials and trying to reduce the number of pieces, making it something that you can reproduce multiple times, and you can make it for a cost that is, that is feasible. We've also got to look at how we're going to take it to market as well. So these are all things that we're going to have to look at as we go through sort of the final part of this year.
I think we all at Duchenne UK appreciate how critical that is. The Duchenne community have given so much to helping us develop this and helping us to get to where we are today. And accessing Elevex once it's ready and once it's available on the market, we have to make that a smooth process for everybody who's contributed into this, for the Duchenne community. Because the last thing that we will allow to happen really is that this product gets produced and then nobody's able to access it, either because it's too expensive or because it's too complicated to get hold of. So that is something that we're putting a lot of thought into even now, and it is something that we will continue to develop as time goes on. And then just, I guess, finally to say, we've spoken a lot today about Elevex because we wanted to tell you about the exciting developments on that, but we are progressing some of the other technology projects that we have. So if you've come past us in the foyer over the last couple of days, you might have seen our stretch prototypes, which is our project looking at the management of the ankle joint in Duchenne. And so we're looking to progress that this year as well. And we are also looking to sort of develop a pipeline of projects to actually work on in this area. So a kind of parting comment and parting ask, I guess, to yourselves, the Duchenne community, is kind of keep talking to us, right? Keep kind of letting us know where there are areas of unmet need, keep telling us about all the crap products out there and what you feel that we should be investigating or we should be looking into, because we, as a team and as Duchenne UK, we want to know about those other areas where there are opportunities for us to have impact and areas where we can, use design to create new products and bring kind of all the benefits of those to people in the Duchenne community. So thank you very much, and I think that's it.